Right, here's a poser for you. What is it that most people do, most people regret, and if you want to try it, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg? Right, we're talking about getting married. Did you work it out? Now, if you're going to get married, you're going to need a wedding car. You can't expect a bride to turn up at the church in a D-Reg beige 1 litre Mini Metro, can you? No, she's going to want something a bit tasty, something to make that day special. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at some wedding cars. Right, where's our Nicola got to?
Hiya, this is Roger, owner of this beautiful wedding car. He makes all the girls' dreams come true. Roger, get me to the church on time. Well, Roger, this is an absolutely beautiful car. It's sturdy, it's classy, and it's big enough to fit the whole family in.
Mm-hmm.
What type of car is it?
It's a Daimler DS420 State Limousine.
How long have you had it?
About 4 years.
And did you buy it in this state?
No, nothing like this at all.
What was it like?
It was black, ex-funerals, and it was rough, very badly corroded. It's had a lot of work done on it.
Like what have you had to do to it? Have you done it all yourself?
Not personally myself, although I am a panel beater by trade. A colleague of mine has done all of the welding work, the metal work. It's had a vast amount. I couldn't really explain how much. It has had a lot of work done. It was basically going for scrap before I bought the car.
Now, this is a very interesting colour. It's not your traditional white wedding car, is it?
No, and the reason being for that, all of the brides in this area seem to be going from white cars because they seem to get married in ivory wedding gowns.
Right.
And we find that an ivory gown against a brilliant white car tends to make the gown look dirty.
Did you choose silver because of the millennium?
Yes, silver and gold are going to be the new popular colours, and lots of bridal wear, gowns, bags, shoes, accessories are in silver, so we thought we'd go with that.
So if I wanted to book these cars or any of your cars, how much time would you need in advance to know?
Certainly 12 months, maybe 2 years. Some people are booking 2 years in advance, and we are getting very busy now for the millennium year for next year, 2000, with about 100 weddings already.
And how much does it cost?
We would tailor the price to suit each individual person, but in all honesty, Nicola, varying from between about £185 to possibly £225.
And do you mainly do Yorkshire weddings, or do you have requests throughout the country?
I do have, I have requests throughout the country and throughout the world.
Throughout the world?
From the internet. Yeah, I get many inquiries via the internet. Obviously, we are restricted to this country, of course, and if I was doing a local wedding in this immediate area, I could do 2 weddings per car per day.
Right.
If I was doing a Liverpool wedding, then it would be 1 wedding per day per car. Consequently, I would make less money.
So what all-round service do you offer?
From the time that people ring making an enquiry, A, is the car available for such? I always ask if the car for their date of the wedding. If the car's available, then I also ask whether they have got their photographer sorted, the cake, the gown, the flowers, the menswear, etc. I can certainly steer them in to go into the right place for the best value for money, Nicola. There's so many people nowadays waiting to rip people off.
Yeah.
I find that if people haven't done this before, then they appreciate a little help.
If people haven't done...
Yeah.
So in other words, you have people on the second and third wedding?
We have people on the second and third weddings, and those are the ones usually that need also more help than the other ones.
So is this little beauty your most popular car then?
Although she's very, very popular, Nicola, no. The one that's behind you is actually the most popular, and we have 2 identical ones of those.
Shall we take a look at that one then?
Certainly, by all means.
Okay, great. So, okay, we've got to take into consideration that England is generally cold. How do you keep people warm in this car?
This particular one has 2 separate heaters. There is a heater fitted specifically for this situation behind the back seat, which vents out on the back and behind your feet down there. It gets very warm in here. And you cuddle, of course.
Oh, right. So I'd be really worried about my hair, though, getting messed up, you know, with the wind.
Depending on the distance from home to church, I would either travel at 10 or 15 miles an hour maximum speed, or I would put the roof up and then pause and stop just a quarter of a mile from church and drop the roof so that we can appear to arrive with the top down and cheat.
So what is this beautiful car we're sitting in then?
The make of the car is a Beauford. It was built by myself. It took me 5 months to build. It is actually a 4-door convertible, whereas the majority of convertibles, i.e. Mercedes, Rolls-Royce, Jaguar, BMW, Audi, all of the convertibles on the road today are two-door cars. These are four doors, so therefore you get good access in the rear. You don't have to tip the seats forward to climb into the back for a bride. We find it's excellent, that sort of service.
So do you drive this car for any other reason than weddings?
Yeah, I go for a Chinese in it. I go out to fetch my daily newspaper in it. I went out yesterday and collected some parts for another car in it. And if we go out for a meal, we'll go out for a meal in it.
How many wedding cars do you have in your fleet then?
We have a total of 6 altogether.
And how much did this car cost to build then?
This one probably cost about £16,500 to build. Resale value, I would guess, at about £18,500 to £20,000 to build.
Now, one thing you've got to notice about this car is Roger and I are sat like, well, we're not that snugly, but we're quite close. And there's ample space for another person. So you get dad, mum, bride, husband, and if you've been fortunate enough to have a child before you get married, you can fit them in as well. Well, I love this car, and if I actually ever considered getting married, which is not going to be in the near future, I could rent your car.
You certainly could. Yeah.
Well,
Do you a special deal there, Nicola?
Oh, all right, okay. Well, thanks very much, Roger.
You're more than
Lovely
welcome.
talking to you. Roger certainly takes his job seriously. He must have driven hundreds of brides to their weddings, and it's obvious he takes great pride in making sure that that most special of days goes smoothly and without any hitches.